Continuation to our Docker classes. So yesterday we have covered up to Docker image, Docker file, right? Let's understand how we can do those things. Go to Killer Coda platform, click on interactive Killer Coda environment, playgrounds, and take Ubuntu. If not, you can also go with play with Docker and click on this play with Docker.
Can you explain the fault forwarding again using p-tag?
Okay. No, I attended a call. Sorry. So play with Docker. Click on login and click on Docker. So you should have your Docker Hub account and accept with your Docker Hub account or a GitHub account and then start. So this is your free Google platform. Google is giving you a server for 4 hours. You need to click on add instance. See, here the instance is ready for you. Here you can do Docker version. So Docker is already installed. Docker images. So there is no Docker image or Docker PS. So there is no containers as well. There is no containers as well. Okay. So this is one of the platform and this is one platform. You can go with any of the platform, but I strongly suggest you to use the Killer Coda rather than this playwithdocker.com because here you can't do a copy paste properly. You have to follow the keys in your keyboard like shift insert, okay, or control shift insert like this. You need to follow. You can't do a copy here. But in Killer Coda, it enables a VS Code for you and you can also do. But the thing is, this is 4 hours and this is only for 1 hour. That is the difference. Okay. Now let me increase the font. Docker images. So no image is not available right now. I can see it's my first class. Can you briefly tell us what has been covered so far and where we can access the old recordings? That would be great. See, Harish, I think the team is going to provide you the Google Classroom access. Just please check after this class and open your Gmail and accept the Google Classroom link. Then you'll be able to see the recordings there and the notes. Okay. And what all we cover, all the recordings are there. Just only two classes we completed. That is about the basics of the Docker and the Docker image. Okay, great, fine. Let's jump into our things. Docker images. So always you need to do a Docker login actually. If it is your AWS cloud or Azure cloud, you need to create an ECR and you have to also follow login, ECR login and ACR login or GCR login. You need to run those commands into your pipeline or into your command line CLI from your terminal or into some other tool it is using. Then you need to give those commands in order to log in username, password or a session tokens. You need to must do this. If you do this, you can able to log into your Docker Hub. So mine is this one is the username and but the password. Uh, Wait a minute, forgot the password. So if you copy, so it will copy here and error. Let me log into my Docker Hub and do some password reset.
So here we have to generate token like GitHub
In if you go securely, then you need to create a token.
because in the GitHub now we are using token now.
Yes, pat token and fine grade token.
Yeah, yeah.
So go to account settings. Here I have the password, reset password. So I'll get a link on my uh, mail. Let me do a reset. Reset password. Yes, I did it my phone. Yeah. Now let me re-log in from the platform. This is my paste. Why it's giving error? Now the login success. Okay. If you want to pull Docker image, we know that we give the command docker pull and something. Okay. Now I just want to write a Docker file, and I would like to do a test on or let's learn the Docker file, how to write them and how we can use them. Okay. For an example, first format that we need to know is from image. You can write your compose file, Docker file. You can compose it in any way, vi, nano, or vim. Okay. And you can also open here a VS Code in this killer coda. So let me go with the vi Docker file. In your organizations, is this is the going to be name? No, there will be a one Docker file, and according to your environment, there will be a other Docker file names also. Dev Docker file, UAT Docker file, prod Docker file. Like this, there will be different Docker files according to your environment. Okay. According to your environments. What is this? Yeah. So now I'm here in this my Docker file. From what do you want to take? From what do you want to take? I want to take a Ubuntu. Okay. Ubuntu and work directory. Work dir. What do a slash app in the means, like I'll say ETO, immense TechOps. I'm giving this work directory to copy into it. Okay. So this is a directory I would like to create. Now what I'll do, escape shift colon W exclamatory mark. Now Docker build. So this is a build X. Build X means it's generate Docker image from your Docker file, and we are taking base image is Ubuntu, right? Docker build -t, a tag. You need to give a proper tag. Let me give a tag is app-1 and dot. In this current directory, it's looking and generating an image. But you can see here what I is telling you, build x build kit. Okay. It pulled and it is running, and work directory, it's done. Docker images. Now I have both. Now I have both. App1 is my custom name. I'm giving my own image name. Okay. So I would like to run Docker run and app1. Docker run and app1 -d. We also give it like this. Docker run -d -itd interactively in the background. What is my image name? App1. Okay. How can I see the Docker containers? Docker ps. My container is running. If you give hyphen name, it will take your custom name. If you not give any name, it will take a random name. A random name. Okay. Now I would like to log in inside the container. Docker exec -it you should not give d. D is something in the background. Okay. Now what's our container ID? This is a container ID, not image ID you need to provide. You need to provide your container ID. And whenever you are seeing Docker PS, let me open pen. So this things is enough to also troubleshoot with your pod. Here you can see this is telling you that the way of logging into the container. Okay, bin bash. You need to give hyphen slash bin slash bash space OCI runtime.
We can give only bash, right?
Slash bin slash bash.
It's not taking. You can give a space bin slash bash. It will take. Unable to start the container process exec. It not found the path. So whatever the path that we are providing, it's not able to find the path. Let's remove the hyphen and give bin slash
Bin bash
bash.
will work. Slash bin bash will work.
Okay, what it is exactly giving me error? The hyphen was not able to state it. No such file or directory when you're trying to give hyphen. Hyphen means you are trying to get identifier. Like there's a bunch of commands are defined. You need to point out to one identifier and get output. So in that way we give hyphen. The same way docker hyphen version. Why we give hyphen version? To point out. Okay. Now I have logged into where directly? This is my container ID, but I directly logged into the ETO. So this is what I told in the Docker file work directory, right? ls, nothing is here. ls, nothing is here. Okay. Now let me exit from it. ls, okay. Docker ps. Now I don't want this container. First, what you need to do? Docker stop. This is how you need to practice the command. First, you need to stop and then you need to remove. Okay, and then give it as a rm in order to save the space. I'm removing this. Now you can also remove the images because we don't need it. Now I'll go rmi. If your container is running in the stopped mode or running mode, if the image is associated, the image will not remove. Okay, you need to give -f. So it is untagged and also removed. Now what I want, I have a Docker file and I would like to create a touch test.txt file. txt file ls. I have txt file. I'll go to Docker file, vi Docker file, and here I'll say copy dot or text test.txt into slash eto. Escape shift colon wq exclamation mark, and now I'm going to build it. Docker build -t app2. Okay, step 2 and build it. Now I'm going to run it as a container. Docker run -itd and app-2. So here I'll going to give a random name like CS-2, second container that we are running. Okay, it's not taking the second. Fail to create the container, fail to create the host data. -d.
So first it will come now.
First in between here we need to give
First the
hyphen
Docker
name.
container name will come. Yeah, hyphen name, container name.
Then so we already built container. So what I'll do, Docker ps, and let's log into the Docker container again. We can go and copy the ID and paste it. ls. You have text.txt, right? You have text.txt. So what happens? Whatever the file which is present at the server, okay, so that came into the your ATO inside the container. And the next thing we are understanding, if you give only single dot, for example, you are giving only cat. Okay, we are into here, right? Let me do an exit. And if we do a single dot instead of this text, then it is going to copy all your files into the container. All these files are going to copy into your container, which will create more MB, which will create a more MB. Okay, so that is the one point. And also we can make use of our next instruction is add. Let me docker ps and docker stop. Let's give the container ID. Paste. If you one time do this practice, this all commands will be in your mind. And let's give the rm and docker images, docker rmi-f, give app-2. So these things I have done. Now go docker file, utilize the same thing, and I would like to add and escape shift colon w exclamation mark. So now what do you do? Go to any website, download static websites, click on this, and click on this, copy this link, come to your docker file and open your docker file. So let's take the VS code here. Wait a minute. It will give us a VS code option, the killer code. editor. Where's my Docker file? Here is my Docker file. Okay, so I am going to keep this link. Okay, that is going to be a zip. You can see the format is zip. I given add /eto. So what I'll be doing, I'll be going to save this one and file and save. That's it. In the down, let me increase the font size. It might, sorry, it's not. Let's took the new session again. Let me increase the font size.
Can you show the Docker file again?
I'm increasing the font size. It took the new session because I refreshed. I'll show you.
Okay.
Okay, let's move to our this one. I'll try to open an editor. In the root. So what I'll do, see here, this is the problem. From Ubuntu work dir /eto. Add the copy is the problem here. So what I'll do, escape shift colon w, display mark, and I'll open editor. Here you can go. I find most comfortable with the killer code only. This will do a lot of time.
So Ravi, just a quick suggestion, like why we are not using just any EC2, does not make life easy for going forward even?
Well, we can use it, but not a problem. But we are going to do that as well after this practice of creating an EC2 instance and doing that. Since here it is, we are doing a lot of practice, right? We create many images, many containers, we delete that. So killer code is a good practice that not to worry about your EC2 instance. That's why I took this one. If that is the case, we can also go to EC2 instance, and I think I already stopped one server. Let me start that.
Yeah. Hi Ravi, just have a one question here.
Yes.
I joined a little bit late.
Mhm.
So you just
Tell me.
created this container image, right? So are you going to deploy it in EKS server like in Kubernetes?
Not now. We're just only
Okay.
learning about the container. We're not making it as a pod.
Okay.
When this container we completely having good idea, then we move towards the orchestration.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. I'm taking a Ubuntu and workdir slash ATO, and you take this add. So I'll just going to copy the link address of this one. Okay. Escape shift colon W exclamation mark. Now I'm going to docker build -t app -3 dot. Now what happened? You can see the log printed output, but the thing is it's got failed due to it's not able to, because it's a zipped one. Now what I'll do, it clearly given you error that is not able to unzip. It is able to download your online thing, but since it is zipped, it's trying to unzip. Wget, I downloaded, let me wget wget. So this was not the correct one, that's why it's might get failed, might be. Wait a minute. Wget, give the link. Okay, so what I have, ls, copy this one, go to docker file, now this is a zip one, escape shift colon w exclamation mark, and now you can build it. So before that I would like to see docker images. What happened? What is our image name I have given while I'm running the command?
It's an app-1.
app-3 I have given,
App-3.
but here, so there's app
Image.
is already created, might be a last one, okay, when the instance, but you can see one ID is generated, so which it's already pulled a Ubuntu image, actual image, and this actual image is trying to convert to your custom image with what are all the things you have provided in the Docker file, but it is unsuccessful even though it acquired your space. Already 78 MB, it's acquired your space
So why the image name is not coming?
because it got failed. It's not successful image.
Okay.
Okay. Now I'll go into docker build -t and app-3 dot. It's successful since it did unzip and it copied. Now let me go to docker images and docker run -itd, and where's my app3 is my image ID -name cs3. So I'll just go docker ps So docker exec -itd and your container app-3. Don't give a D. CS3. Docker ps CS-3.
Bin bash, sir. Space bin bash.
That's forgot. You can see it copied into this and the zip is added into this. But since it is zip, it was not extracted. If I have a sample file from my remote URL, let's take HTTPS or anything, and I would like to download the file into my ETO repository here. So when I give this directly, it given a clear error that it is not able to download. You can see 503 service unavailable. Clearly it said add is failed to get download and unavailable this one. Clearly it said. So how can I resolve? Since it is a zip, it is not able to download. If you try with any other file, let's take any other file from the internet. File download, free file download, free text file download. Sample text file download. Now let me copy the same and go to my server.
For experienced person, how much Docker we should know?
Experienced person, Docker, what I am doing, you should know. Okay. If it is having the get, then it is go directly do it. In previous case, if it is not done, then you can add a run instruction and you can do like a curl. Okay. You can do a curl and it will download, and you can give one more run, which it is going to be extract like tar -xv f and unzip that one, and then you can copy into this folder. So when you are applying the run, it is going to be considered as a layer into your file system. So what I'm doing right now, I'm trying directly with the add of giving this link. It's trying to download into this. If the get is not happen, in the sense the content is not getting internet access properly. Escape shift:/WQ explanatory mark, and I would like to build it. App4 and then it as a container. CS4 and app4 and bin/bin/bash. So directly it will execute into the container, or you can also docker ps. Sample.txt is directly downloaded into your ETO file. If you are using a zip, that's how it is not able to extract it. So you can make use of run command before to extract and keep into your ATO folder. So this is how you can use the add instruction. Now we can also make use of run instruction here itself. So what I'll do, docker file I, and I'll add a run, and I'll say a curl -o, and then come here, copy link address, and paste this one. Okay, so we can give and you can also give apt install unzip, and then add run unzip this one. So in above case, you should give -y. So this should be a small O. I think it's not the capital O. Escape shift : WQ exclamatory mark. Now run your image app 5 change, fifth change. So curl not found. Curl was not there inside the container. Okay, so let's install the curl as well. Apt install curl. The command should be correct one. Let me cross verify it. Sorry. You will not be a super user in the container. Curl is not found. Apt unzip install none. Okay, so we make use of wget then. Remove this one and just directly give wget install unzip y. Let's try it out with this. Nope, wget also not working. So basically curl should have worked. Why the curl is not working? Let me add some wget things packages. Run apk add, and I just add no cache. So it's trying to add the package manager and then trying to do this. So let's remove this one. So all your Linux commands, whatever you run the same way, but you need to understand the hierarchy and then accordingly step by step you need to give. This makes you APK also not found. Okay, let's trying to find out the error why the curl was not happen. Okay, so it's telling that curl not found bin bash come go. Most probably where you have to find in the Stack Overflow. It's telling sudo apt get install, or this is for the Ubuntu and user bin curl. But I don't think that. See, I can give you an example. What happened in our example? Here's a Docker file. So this is our Docker file, right? What we're trying to do, if we add this one, the same abo link, it is adding, then it is downloading it as a zip, then you can run it as the extract. And before that, you're trying to apply curl. If it is not happen, then you should make sure the package manager has to be added properly. Now in this case, we are lagging with the commands. We need to add a proper. You need to search the internet. You need to add it, package manager, then you can upgrade it. But since this update is adding already, now what I'll use Docker file, edit. I'll just go and remove this. I no more need it. Okay. And also I'll remove this. I don't need it. I don't need this one as well. What I need this URL and I'll keep it into the add, which is directly going to download from the internet without even the curl or without even the duplicate. Right. So above line, I'll remove it. In the down line, now you do unzip this one. Okay. So now it is going to unzip this one. Let's try this. It is not able to do that because it's unable to do unzip. Oh, it is unable to download direct zip. That's what we previously tried, right? Okay, we need to add a proper package manager into a run instruction, which it should be download the curl. Why it's not adding? Then I'll try to use some other command or other base image instead of the Ubuntu. Let me make use of Alpine. It's also something same like this only. However, if you provide not provide, it is going to take the same latest image, run apk. I'll try to add the package manager, add hyphen no cache wget, and also I'll try to add unzip into the packages unzip. And here one more run I would like to add. Run, copy the same, and I'm going to give and unzip this one. Okay, I don't want this. So directly it's not happen. I have to give wget here. I forgot. Let's give 6 number. Now it is done. Okay, so Docker images. I have app 6 and I'll go Docker run and -itd and what is that, app -6. I'm going to run as a container and Docker ps Docker run Docker exec -itd and the container, which was the app6, this one is the id, and bin sh/sh. You need to follow that command, what it is giving you, bin bash or bin sh unknown. Now give -. Don't give d here. I forgot. If you give a d, it's going to run in the background, which is not going to take ls. It unzipped directly and also keep it as a copy file for you. You can see it unzipped directly. There is no zip one in this. In above, you can see the unzip log, download log, unzip log. This is how happens with the run instruction, copy instruction, add instruction, work instruction, from instruction. We mostly covered few instructions, and what we left with, we have been left with few instructions, expose and as well as cmd and entry point. Okay, let's get into that cmd and entry point. Docker file. I'm just going to remove all this. Expose is nothing but your code is exposing. You can give any number according to your default code. Now I would say, let me keep the work directory like this, and I just want to write like, first let's go with the cmd, or let's go with the entry point, then which one? Let's go with the cmd. First, what I'll write, cmd, open this one to make you understand. Let me go with an echo. You have to separate with this argument with a comma, and then you have to give. So this is something called cmd example. Okay, I have closed this. Two things, I have closed this, escape shift colon wq exclamatory mark, and docker build -t. You can give it as a cmd, give it as a cmd only. Okay, cmd1 that we want to understand. Okay, docker images, we have cmd1. Now I'm going to run it as a container. Okay, when I'm going to run it as a container, I will not give D in the background, or I will not going to give hyphen IT interactively also. I'll give directly CMD 1 hyphen 1. Syntax hyphen IT CMD hyphen 1 unsupported command.
Sir, inside CMD, while giving F4, we give single quotes. This is
Sorry,
good.
I can't hear you.
Step 3 by 3, single quote, echo.
Acha. I have switched my keyboard. It's creating a problem for me to type. Yes. You're all following then. Good. One thing. This is the best example. Even though I written wrong, but my image is created. This is how same happens at your real-time organization. There is something mistake with code copy, or the code is not able to extract properly into your Docker image binaries, but the image will build in your CI/CD, and that is not also vulnerable. Scanning, what it will do, just check the code standardization and everything. It not also vulnerable, but when it is going to run it as a container, it fail. It's going to fail, and you will get into that. Oh no, scanning errors, image got built and container but not running. What happened? So this is what the error that you can also see at your pod. While you're seeing the pod, inside the pod is a container, and when you open the pod logs, it will tell you that container is back off. Container is back off. When it is back off means it's not able to take the image and do a extraction. That is error. Okay. Yeah. Where we are with the CMD, like CMD 2. CMD hyphen 2. So this is CMD example it printed. You can see CMD example it printed. Now what I'll do, same thing. Same thing. Echo is the first argument. Second argument which we need as a executed inside the container. The first argument is always your system argument or the system command that the system know that your package manager command, like you are giving yum, apt, node, python, java. So these commands you need to give, like you are running systemctl start restart, systemctl apache start. So systemctl is the first command, that the system known command, right? That's first argument, you need to keep that one, and then you can add a flag. Then you can the argument that you want to be executed in the container. Okay. Now docker run cmd2. I have given this one. This is a CMD example. It's printed. Now what I'll do, I'm passing explicitly. Now I'm passing explicitly what? Uh, uh, let's say Docker. Okay. Hello Docker. I'm giving just any name like ship. Something I'm giving a name called ship here. Ship The system doesn't know about this command. This is just a human understanding word. Ship explanatory mark. Now I'm trying to give explicitly while my container is executing. Now what I'm telling that while my container is executing, I'm telling that can you able to take this? So this your Docker client. Now this command your Docker client will take and trying to give it to your daemon. And that daemon is trying to execute as a container. Is it going to ignore or it is not going to ignore? What it will do? It ignored. It couldn't able to understand that. See, clearly it said the create container while the starting process of ship Docker executable file not found in the path. System doesn't know about this. Now let's give system known things. What I'll do in the system known thing, I'll give ls -l or -la. Let me give L. Enter. It executed, but this is not executed. This is CMD example. Getting my point? It ignored your CMD example word directly. It ignored. It not even taken that. It taken the value that you are given explicitly outside. So what is the point of writing inside the CMD in the argument Docker file? So this is what Docker daemon is ignore your CMD. Okay. Now let's go with the entry point. What I'm telling here, I'll say it as entry point example. Entry point. Just please watch the screen carefully. If I do spelling mistake, let me know. Entry point. It's not printed. Yeah. Escape, shift colon, WQ expected mark. Okay. Now I'm going to run it as a image. Now I'll give en-1 or entry -1. Now I'm going to run it as a container. Entry -1. It said this is entry point example. It said this is entry point example. Now I'll pass something ship. Okay, let's ship or both. What it is told you. This is entry point example. Both. It took your Docker run entry -1 explanatory mark. It took the line of your boat. Let's give it like this. Only I copied that one. Now I'm just giving this one. Let's say Sandy. It's telling you that. So this is my command. I'm highlighting. You can see this is my command. This is entry point example. This is the one, and Sandy is the one. Sandy system doesn't know, right? Sandy's systems doesn't know. This is a normal word like just before I given. Even though you give this explicitly, it will print along with your whatever the value you have given in the entry point in the Docker file. In previous case, it ignored, but in this case, it not ignored, and it will not ignore your explicitly value also. So this is what here you can give system known command also okay. System not known command also okay. Okay. So this is the perfect. This is what happens with the CMD and entry point. I hope everyone clear. Yes, no. Yes, no, you got it or not got it.
Yeah.
If somebody will ask, will you able to answer it? What's the difference between CMD and entry point?
Yeah.
Right? So I just want to hear from you guys. Can someone Sai unmute and just Chetty Sai and Shravya and others? First, you people just unmute and tell me that what's the difference between CMD and entry point. What from your words? Sai Krishna. Are you all there?
So in entry point, we can see that both the parameters.
I know Vidit, you know already. Suraj, you want to go?
Sir, can you give one more example so I can understand clearly?
Okay. So I'll give you one example. You are the guy, okay, and you are at home. It's Sunday, and your mom said to you that go to market and bring tomatoes and onions. She said two. So let's take the one case only, okay? She given you a bag and she said bring some tomatoes. You went to a market. So this is your mom is written a Docker file in you. So what instructions she given to you? Go to market. That is the way the environment that you need to perform or play like a container. Okay. And instructions given inside to you is there is a bag which is the system known command, the system known execution process. That is your bag. And she said, bring some tomatoes in it. You are going and you're bringing. So this is CMD example. Okay, you're bringing. And now your neighbor uncle came and he said, hey, why you're taking tomatoes? Take onions. What you'll do, you'll ignore tomatoes and you'll take onions into bag and you'll go back home. So you ignored your mom instruction of tomatoes. And now the same uncle said that take some any new vegetable name. New vegetable name in the sense uh, some like any new vegetable. Let's say capsicum. Okay, capsicum you don't know capsicum. So if you since you don't know, you will not take it. So you will be into a confusion. Should I take capsicum? Should I take tomatoes? You don't know that. If you know, you're taking onions. If you don't know, you're not taking either capsicum, you're not taking even onions. That is the error that you are ignoring. Okay, exactly CMD. Now let's come to the entry point. What you are doing, you are taking tomatoes and your neighbor uncle said even though capsicum or even though it is onions. you'll take these two. Okay, that's what the entry point. Are you all clear?
Yeah.
Now tell me, not this tomato vegetable example, from your words. Now I'm the interviewer. I asked you a question. Could you please tell me difference between CMD and entry point? Anyone want to go, Charan or Shravya, Sai Krishna, Priya?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I.
Difference between CMD and entry point will be like when the CMD will pass arguments, but it will be overridden when we explicitly give the command Docker run. So with the entry point, when we give the argument, it will pass the arguments, and even if we give explicitly Docker run a new argument, it print or it gives both uh, in the Docker shell arguments and the Docker run command explicit arguments, both it will print. It will not ignore.
Hmm. Yeah, nice. So in the same way, you have to tell in the interview that he need to understand verbally. If the interviewer not get the verbally, they'll ask you to share the screen. Hey, can you write Docker file? So don't make it them to be share the screen and write it something in the interviews. This is must and should question that an interviews everyone is asking. I don't know how many of you attended, but surely this is the question in India, not in other countries. This is the question in India. Okay. Okay, so I wanted to cover up multi-stage as well, but we almost reached to the time 10:54 it is. Anyone having any question? Let's do with the multi-stage from tomorrow, and also we'll be moving towards generating these things from a CI/CD. Okay. Not only Docker, if you're learning the CI/CD only for the Docker, it's just a minimum thing, but we have to cover up a few things like network and the volume and the compose. So I will be going to cover this. If you practice and you're having good understanding on this container, stopping, removing, and creating an image, and exit from the container, and logging inside the container. So these commands you will find at your notes. Just please go and check the notes and do this practice at your killer coda. Okay, use that free platform.
So it is available only for like 1 hour.
1 hour, yes. If you are like you can refresh, then it will create the one more.
Ravi, like I have a query regarding CMD and entry point. Like, can you give me the real-time example of CMD and entry point? Like, what are the we pass arguments like Java or Parfile, right? So, can you give me the examples in the
Sorry,
real time
actually I
of
can't
this?
hear you. Is with me? Is it with everyone?
So can't hear.
It's breaking up. So
His voice is not clear, sir.
I can't hear you, Sandeep. Sorry.
Sir, he was asking that can you please give one real-time example about CMD and entry point?
Real-time example of CMD and entry point. Okay. Uh, let's take a scenario of uh, mm, let's take the scenario of your Python. Okay, I have some Python code. Now, what I want to do, I wanted to use this Python code has to be checked out, and then while it is going to execute as a container, I needed certain executions has to be happen. So what I'll do, I want this Python should always interpreter executed. Okay, so I'll use entry point. Okay, so here I'll pass all Python interpreter things, that whatever I want to be executed, all these things I'm going to pass, and then I can give a CMD, and here I'll provide my Python script to be executed. Python script like Python app.py. Okay. Now, what are all the things I want to be interpreter for my program? I'll use entry point, and then what are all the things I want to be executed for creating the container? I will use my CMD. So in this case, if I want a specific process to run before my Python program, a specific process to run, then I use entry point. Then in the last, I can use CMD to execute the program. So that is the real world case. I can give you, if we go to our GitHub also, we have few Docker files. I have a Docker file. Only entry point there, not CMD. Only entry point there. Okay. So before this, here what happened? This is a flag. Okay. Nginx -g daemon off. It is running, and before this Nginx is going to be executed, I want to run a specific one, a specific process, or a specific uh, installation, or a specific code execution has to be happen. Then I can use of entry point in the first. In the last, I can use of CMD. So whenever you see multiple Docker files, in one of the Docker file, there will be a CMD and entry point, both will be presented. Always the last instruction will be a CMD instruction, and above CMD, there will be a entry point. What is flag? Okay. So flag is something, it's an option for your command script or your program script. You have to give hyphen. Always you have to give hyphen. So how you are providing hyphen help when you are running the command? Same way, in order to run your program, you will be providing the hyphens and the flags. Like while we are running the Docker container, we are giving -d, -itd. That is a flag. Okay, this is a flag, -t. This is a flag for a specific requirement. This is a tag, so I'm giving -t. -v is for version. -d is for background process. So that is a flag. For your requirement, you are passing the flag to execute the command programming. That is a real-time thing. Okay. Cool. Let's connect tomorrow at the same time if you don't have issues, and please complete your things and get the access to the Google Classroom if you're not. Thank you everyone. Thank you very much.
You will send the instruction for the Google Classroom, right? On a Gmail?
Yeah, I'll be send the instruction how to join.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Bye.